infusion in young children includes giving them intravenous fluids or giving them blood or giving them medication via an intravenous line. Now the key challenge is many of our infusion sets are manually controlled. So if you are, for example, treating a patient with severe dehydration and you need to give fluid within 30 minutes, you'll have to calculate the number of drops per minute. And because this is a manually controlled method, sometimes the fluid, you don't ever know how much is going to get in. Sometimes it's at a tap rate, sometimes it's drops per second, but you require somebody to manually calculate those drops and ensure that the child is getting the correct treatment.
The idea to design the ECGF was born at Mulago Hospital when a team of Ugandan engineers was doing a clinical needs and medical equipment assessment. So we noticed that intravenous therapy was actually carried out manually, meaning a clinician had to manually regulate intravenous fluids to a patient. So the electronically controlled gravity feed infusion set was born, and what it does is it automates the entire infusion process from start to the end and provides the minimum safety features for a patient.
Kusigikira nko tukora abarwaire tukosa emiringo yitu enkuru yo kuharza abana amaizi ebene tutabaniza muno bitati en machine hiye tuyambero kugamba ngo obogitekamo katamu milze zo kwetaga rundi hendo go kwetaga gwa amaizi kufuna omwana no bwiro kweneramo hiyo nebiko kandi burubuye bwenyema okeno taye chupa no sanga nehwamu otagire hey so en machine tuyambero muno.
We've been able to pre-clinically test the device against medical device standards, and it performed at plus or minus 1% as its error margin or accuracy, which is the deviation between the actual and the prescribed flow rate. In addition to that, we were also able to carry out our first clinical pilot in adults with infectious diseases, which was conducted at Mulago Hospital at Chirudu, and we were able to attain an error margin of plus or minus 7%. After that, we designed a study for the pediatric population, which was conducted at Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital, as well as in Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital. After that study, we hope to raise a round of funding, which will enable us to complete a phase 2 trial and in parallel also initiate the process to start CE marking the device.
We all know that priority is given to patients as opposed to the technology. So as such, there's so many regulatory authorities that are put in place to ensure that the device is safe for use in patients. So we had to seek approvals. We got approval from the Makerere University School of Medicine Research and Ethics Committee. We also got ethical approval from Uganda National Council of Science and Technology, from Ministry of Health, and also final clearance from the National Drug Authority. We also carried out a children's pilot at Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital and Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital in children ages 5 to 8 years. There were a total of 24 children, 12 on the control arm, 12 on the intervention. When we got the results and analyzed them, they were submitted to the Data Safety Management Board, DSMB, who, upon satisfaction, they recommended for us to continue with the transition into the actual children pilot. The children pilot was carried out in children aged 2 months to 5 years, in a total of 136 children, 68 still on the control arm, and then 68 on the intervention.
We thought this machine was too complicated, but as time went on, we got used with it, and we think it would be very helpful in monitoring our children.
The user interface of the ECGF device is designed in such a manner as to be very user-friendly. It was also designed in such a manner that the device is operated in a very safe manner, seeing as it's a medical device, and safety is such a crucial concern when it comes to medical devices. For instance, when the clinician keys in, say, the amount of drug or the duration in which the drug should be administered, there's a prompt for them to confirm that amount as well as the duration, so that what they actually intended to administer is actually what is administered.
Nintekereza mashini eno neyangu okukozesebwa kakuba omuntu bomasira kugimanyira hanyuma neyamba no kumonitoringa amaizi nkoku amaizi gagenda mu mubiri gw'omwana nigamara mu kayireki kwetagisa no kwikara kugarolera nogenda nokora byawe bwa amaizi nigetwara akasumya ukakwika ekyoma nikugambira ngo ati obwire bwaheka.
Improved on performance, on usability, and as well as safety. In terms of performance, we have made changes in terms of volume compensation. So we are now guaranteeing a volume as well as the drop rate that was in the previous version. So we have designed algorithm to be able to cater for factors that actually change the volume of a drop, and in so doing, improving on the performance and the accuracy that we attain at the end of the therapy. In terms of usability, we did realize that if an adverse effect happened, the clinicians needed to record the value that they need to input for the next therapy to happen. However, for this version 1.2, we're provided for a resume function, so that the clinicians do not need to remember what value they need to input for the therapy to continue. We have also provided for them an option to terminate in case they need to terminate the therapy. We have provided for safety measures as well in terms of detection of air bubble within the tube. So we provided sensors to be able to do that. And if an air bubble is detected within the tube, the therapy is terminated, and the clinician is also provided for means to be able to flush the air bubble from the tube and resume as need be.
ECGF nungi muno eyorobera kugikozesa tujja kusemererwa muno programu ejibwe narabamu netandika kugikozesa nga irwaro.
It's a device I believe that could potentially be used to reduce the workload that clinicians have, rather than running around figuring out whether fluids have run out on a particular patient. You would automatically have the alarm sounded off, and you would know that this particular patient's fluids need to be replaced. But at the same time, if you do have any issue with blockage or the fluid sort of just stopping to run, the clinician would be alerted to try and do something to correct the fluid flow in that patient. So yes, it would absolutely save clinician time in looking after patients on the ward.
Currently, as we speak, about 10% of our patients who get admitted end up on intravenous fluids, and that's a very high burden of disease. So if the ECGF is scaled up, it will first of all reduce on the amount of work that a healthcare worker has to do, the manual calculation of fluids, but also because the flow rate is pre-calculated, we will be able to know how much fluid each patient is getting.
We hope to produce the ECGF device locally within Uganda. We have currently used 3D printing and metal fabrication as some of the manufacturing processes, and all the design has been done in-house. We intend to build on that capacity and establish a reliable supply chain without compromising on the quality of the overall device. We anticipate that its cost would be approximately $150 at production stage. So we feel that the ECGF has a big potential in improving the patient safety that is associated with intravenous therapy, as well as improving and impacting the health outcomes that are associated with IV therapy, in particular for children where regulation of fluids is quite critical.